The intro. I think I did it last time too,
Yeah.
didn't I?
Yeah, but we lost that one, so you don't have proof.
All right. So this is Outriders Community Depot until we change the name. This is episode 1.2 because the first episode did not work. Someone's
Nope.
mic was not working
Kyle.
whatsoever. Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
So
No, it was me.
we've got Steven McDowell.
What's up?
Hello. Say hello, Steven. Kyle Bomley.
Hey, hello.
Or Bomley, as his actual government name says. And I'm Kalen, and we're going to be talking about some Outriders, and we hope you enjoy. Because I sure shit don't.
Yeah. I guess.
Not yet. Not until April 1st.
Yeah.
Let's start here. You both already purchased the game, right?
Yes.
All right. So
And
we all own
and
it.
it's already on Game Pass.
Oh yeah. What the heck?
Yeah.
What's that?
Kyle's like,
I know there are some I know there are some stipulations to it,
Okay.
but I'm not sure what they are, as I have not looked into it as I purchased the game, so it doesn't matter to me what the stipulations are.
Well, do you have Game Pass?
Yes.
So just refund the game. Like people are saying, just refund your purchase. I don't know how that would be possible or what that would do for you, but you would still get it through Game Pass. But, like, unless
At that point, I would look into what the it comes with a catch. At least that's what I saw on the link for the article about that.
Okay.
It said is like, oh, everyone's mad basically that the game's out on the Game Pass, but there's a catch or some shit like that.
Okay. So assuming they're probably gonna have more for people who actually purchase the whole game.
I would hope so.
Yeah, me too.
and honestly, I think it's better to keep with your purchase. You might as well support the company.
Yeah.
Turns out, if it's a good game, it would be probably beneficial for them, to get
Yeah.
some money and not less.
Agreed.
So I'm gonna stick with mine just because I'm also stubborn.
I'm sending it back.
I'm not gonna. Are you?
No.
You're not even gonna fucking play it.
I don't have Game Pass, so.
Or an Xbox.
Yeah.
Do you?
No, but you can use Xbox Game Pass through Microsoft Store, so I can still get it, but I don't have it.
So I think the first episode you have started off with. Well, let's preface this with our fearless leader Stevie has lost his notes. He had a good instructor last time, but that's fuck all now. So
They're around here somewhere.
yeah, I'm sure. Last episode you had me start with kind of what Outriders seems to be story-wise, so I might as well do her again. Humanity looking for a new planet. Outriders are the scouts to make sure the planet is safe and habitable, and we are one of these Outriders. Shit goes awry, if I could say so. Big storm. I can? Okay, thank you. Big storm, electrical. We don't know why or whom set the storm up. I believe it's aliens or a past civilization, but we'll get into that maybe later. Other than that, you get powers and you shoot shit. We can go into lore a little later. Other than that's basically the premise. I mean, it's not far off from really any other game at this point. Anthem or Destiny. It's save humanity.
Let's do it.
Because, humans apparently deserve to be saved. So, that's how I'm going to end that.
Hell yeah. So, I know why you say... Because in the beginning mission, whenever you're basically, like, scouring Enoch, you see that, like, the black ichor or whatever.
Mm.
Isn't there, like, a noise or something that makes it look like something's happening far away?
I don't know, but I just know in like a video I've seen, it's either in like the very beginning video, but it looks like a big fucking metal tube, just like a huge just a big piece of machinery that looks like the anomaly is coming out of potentially. But that's maybe I got to take away from something else. I also haven't looked for that image again.
Yeah,
but I feel like it is something that is not necessarily man-made, but species made. It's not just a random storm.
So we just wrapped up Enoch and the storm being potentially a weapon.
a weapon or a deterrence, like a security system, maybe,
Yeah.
to prevent other alien life forms. I don't know. It's just a guess. I hope I'm right because that'd be fucking cool.
No,
I
I
mean, at
get,
that point, if it was like that, it would be very similar to Anthem, with how
Yeah,
like the whatchamacallit,
that was called the
uh
anomaly too.
the anomaly or the cataclysm was the event.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it has a frequency, which makes me think also that it's electrical somehow because I mean that's what you have written on your hand. So it's got a frequency and stuff like that, which I mean I don't know if storms can actually have frequencies, but seems kind of odd. Where did I put my notes there?
let's just talk about like the demo as a whole, like playing it and what you like, what we got out of it. What do you think? I mean, do you think it's like a good intro into the game? Like, has it got you to the point where you're like hooked? Like, are you wanting to play the game, like real bad?
I would say yeah. I mean, the only thing I have an issue with the demo is the fact that there's not more of the game to play.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
like it's like the grinding is fun and everything, and bit monotonous, but that's just because the missions are so short and it's just early on in the game.
Yeah.
But the fact that they added legendary reward system, like legendary rewards to the loot system through just grinding out the demo, to me is just a phenomenal idea. The demo itself doing this for games is a wonderful idea if the game type does support it. Like this
Yeah.
is a looter shooter grindy game. So, of course the demo is that way as well.
I would say a lot of these games have trouble kind of getting out of this phase because, like Anthem, people were probably skeptical of dropping $60 on a game like that. But if people would have gotten their hands on Anthem first and gotten to play it for a month, I think it would have lifted off there. Like they said something about like there's already been like 1 million players in this, like
Really?
just in the demo.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, the numbers are growing daily just because it's free.
When
Like,
it's
and
when it's free, it's people just grab it.
and then with the announcement of the fact that it'll be going to Game Pass, I bet even more people will be playing the demo at least, just because it's free as well.
That's still so weird to me. But I don't. Do you guys know how Game Pass works? Like, as someone who doesn't have an Xbox, does Microsoft like pay the company a chunk of money to have the game or like to use the game?
They have
So,
to.
I mean, it's set up like a Netflix model. So I would imagine if Netflix does it, then I mean, they would as well. But like for the most recent purchase of Xbox, they now own Bethesda. So it's like
Oh,
at
that's
that
true.
point they own that company. So everything that they own is going on. I mean, they don't have to ask anybody for permission on
Sure.
at that point. But for the other companies, I would not know.
Huh. So we got I don't know if you guys can see my screen, but we've got this guy, the main guy,
Fuck that guy.
scientist dude. Well, yeah, what's his deal?
Mhm.
Do we know
He's
anything
just,
about him?
I mean, he's just a piece of shit. Is what it
No,
sounds
he's
like
not a
from the-
scientist. I think he's just a higher up ECA official that's like kind of in charge of first response and not first response, but getting down there and getting the probes and launching the move-in strategy, basically. And he doesn't give a fuck about maybe there's some trouble, maybe not.
He's obviously got our ulterior motives because immediately he's just not okay with what you guys are doing, right? Like,
Yeah, and it seems
would
like he
say,
won't
yeah.
really be much of a problem soon, unless he comes back somehow, which
yeah,
you never know.
yeah, because
Could
we
be.
fucked him up.
Oh yeah, after
Right.
he shot. Damn,
You're gonna
I had
see
all
it.
these names in my fucking. What's
Cowboy
that guy's
Bob.
name?
Cowboy Bob, yeah.
Cowboy. Oh, Cowboy.
It's Cowboy Bob.
Like Thatcher or Ratcher or some fucking shit.
Will.
Will. That's Will. His name was Bill. Yeah. So I did write some little notes down to try to establish like a timeline because I usually give a shit about dates for some reason. So it looks like in this universe in 2032 the Earth started experiencing increasing seismic activity, like underground earthquakes and stuff, and they weren't sure if it was different countries testing underground nukes or just weaponry, or if it was actually from the planet itself. And this is kind of what spurred on the whole initiative to them jumping from one planet to another. So yeah, so that was in 2032. In 2048, in the lore, it mentions kind of like the point of no return when it comes to the cataclysmic activity and frequency. Like this is when they start getting really, really bad. I think it describes one earthquake in the Atlantic, I believe, like at 8 point something on the Richter scale, or even higher. I can't even remember. But then, like within a few hours, it decimates like Puerto Rico and parts of Brazil, and even talks about how the tidal wave had gotten up. I don't know if you are familiar with Rio de Janeiro, but they have that big Jesus statue on that big fucking hill, and it seemed like it was up to that. So massive, massive fatalities and casualties and all this noise with Earth being fucked initially.
Yeah, right.
So that just sets the idea that they have to like leave in motion.
Yeah, and then there's this chick who was, like I said last time, born in 1991,
Hey.
like myself, Sibylla Flores, which is what the ship that we came over on is named after. She's the namesake. Okay. So yeah, she's the one kind of going to all the UN, the United Nations, all these countries saying, hey, we got to fucking do something. We got to get off. And they're like, a few countries are like, no, we're going to build cities above the oceans and we're going to be fine because then earthquakes and tsunamis won't fuck with us. And she's like, you think there's going to be oceans? You that stupid? Like there's going to be oceans still? That shit's going to dry up or fuck, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, she's pretty cool, but, you know, she did.
Oh god, everyone's dying. So everyone dies, immediately, game's over, we lose.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
That's how I thought it was. Like once you get the rebar through the chest, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, so
alrighty, that was a fun demo.
So all your friends die, you get put into cryo after you basically your powers like manifest. Can't remember if I'm remembering the demos right or not.
See, I think they have to manifest because you, like I said, you
before you get put into cryo, you see your hand, like you grab the truck or whatever, and you fucking start burning it, and you just look at your hand, and it's glowing hot.
Yeah, so you know there's something's going on.
And that's
nothing
right
even
after
hit you.
You get out of the fire.
Yeah, nothing hits you. Like that chick, that other random Outrider, she gets like basically disintegrated, and you're like trying to save her, hold on to her, and then it like transfers to your hand or some bullshit. Yeah. And that's what it looks like. But then whenever you do get hit by that rebar, you are in the middle of a storm too. But I don't know if I can't.
That was after. That was after you come out of the cryo.
Yeah.
So you come out of cryo. You meet two people, one guy and one girl, and they're there, but they like run off and leave you, right? And then you get captured.
Yeah.
By
the girl ends up being the sniper that you have to kind of team up with in a mission, even though you never see her. She's just kind of there. And I feel like the next mission that you're about to do after the demo is to go look for that scientist. I feel like Zahidi, is that his name?
I haven't done those first intro missions in a while. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but yeah, fair. I think there's something else named after him too, or he's important at some point, like that we've already seen, but we didn't know that that's who he was.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, yeah. What else do we got? Gameplay. I feel like the gameplay is really, really smooth. I feel like I got to the point where I was kind of just like sprinting all the time. Like I wasn't really like looking around at stuff or like.
I was the opposite. I was looking at all the walls, looking for all the secrets, like following the edges of every like area that you go into.
Yeah.
Just to see if there was anything hidden, any hidden loot chests or material deposits.
Get all the lore.
But then
and stuff.
Once you find them all, like they're all essentially done until you restart the save point. So
I talked about it the first time, but like the clunk of the game, that was kind of a big thing for me. And Stevie, I'm watching Stevie play it, and it looks way better than me ever playing it. I don't know if it's internet connection, but it looks a lot smoother. But I'm also looking at a smaller screen, so maybe
and
not.
it's on PC, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I
well,
mean this what you're seeing for gameplay is a PC version of the demo. But yeah, like you said, we talked about that last time, how it performs on the first gens versus like or the not the newest gens, but Xbox One and PS4 versus the new Xbox, new PS5 and PC. So I don't know how
Which
that.
is
But how will that
that's
will that
always gonna be a
affect
thing.
like your cross-platform play? Like
I would imagine it shouldn't, because they don't have dedicated servers for the crossplay. It's just just an open server that they use. That's why there's no multiplayer.
right.
And that's why they're able to make it cross-platform, is because they don't have dedicated servers. Is if my information is correct. But as far as I know, I've played with people on PS4 and PC, and I haven't had a single issue with the crossplay
Okay.
capability being on a Xbox One and not the Xbox Series S or X. So
I know I remember having a little bit of issue when I was playing with you guys where I kept getting kicked like over and over and over. But then when I would play by myself, it was fine. So I don't know if that's like a.
So I did notice when you play by yourself, it is a lot smoother, at least initially, because I do know the more people you have in a squad or fire team or whatever it's called, the more enemies that spawn and the more difficult it is. So I don't know if that just has a hindrance on the frames.
Yeah.
If that just puts a lot of pressure on those, or if it's a connection thing. But I did notice pretty much the same thing. I didn't have an issue with getting booted, but I did notice the lag, at least on gameplay. The more people that were in the party.
You can definitely tell when someone's joining the party. I didn't really realize you had to switch your settings whenever you first start a character, or maybe it saves afterwards. But you can have friends only, or you can have just random strangers drop in. And I had started a new character like right after you pull that rebar out of you. It just started lagging so fucking bad, like for a good 2.5 minutes, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And sure as shit, there's just some dude running around. I'm like, God damn it!
Oh,
Trying
so
to enjoy
somebody
this
was
fucking game.
in your server or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
someone just
people
popped
can join
in.
you randomly.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
kind of
need
like
to
Diablo in
change your
that
settings.
sense. Like, yeah, if you have an open server, people can just join it, which is cool. I like that, because if you're looking to just fuck around, that's awesome. But you got to make sure that you change that shit if you're not. Because this dude, as soon as he hopped in, was like upvoting, like skipping everything. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm here to watch these videos. Oh, look at little Jakub. But it got annoying. So as soon as I got to Rifttown, I changed my setting and he got kicked. But
Booted.
Right.
yeah, it is a cool concept though. If you're willing to just run around and meet some friends, so that'd be pretty cool.
And it gives everyone the chance to play with all the friends that they have that are on opposite consoles.
Yeah, that's the best part. The cross-platform. It's surprising that it's not as big of a deal as it should be. As more games are not doing that. I don't get it.
I feel like that's like the one huge thing that this game has going for it. Like, and that's why, if it succeeds, that's why it will.
Right.
Cross-platform is just insane.
I remember wanting to get whatever the MMO Final Fantasy, because that was the first game I could ever think of or remember that had the cross-platform. I wanted to get it just for that. And like, I don't even know how I'm gonna fucking play this game.
Right.
But the fact that you can do it is pretty badass.
Yeah.
I don't like, kind of back to, I know we're kind of going all over the fucking place.
That's fine.
Kyle pointed this out, and then I hadn't experienced it, but I guess I hadn't tried it. But if you like, say you're on your main character, you pick up a piece of lore that's just like out in the world, you read it, whatever. You start a new character, or you even switch over to another character that doesn't have that lore. You can go into your lore spot and find it and read it, but once you read it, it's gone.
Huh.
And it seems, like if you haven't found it on that character, it's gone. At least that's how it disappeared. And that didn't seem to make sense, because for such a limited lore page that they have, it's not like I'm actually replaying Dragon Age Inquisition right now, where it's just fucking blank, and then it just keeps adding shit as you go. And it seems like for something that's so limited, where you can see where things are gonna be, it's like, why would you want to hunt down all that lore on every single character? It seems kind of pointless in my opinion, and maybe it's just a bug. Who knows?
Yeah, I would hope they have that fixed, because it would seem like if you're playing a character, playing a different class or whatever, and you find something, that it would just add to like a directory instead of disappearing. That would be really dumb.
Yeah.
And then I said this last time.
Account based.
Yeah, and I said this last time. It's like, oh, I didn't even look at the lore until way later. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna learn about some characters, and it's like, oh, Gauze. It's like, well, that motherfucker's dead. I just killed him. It's like, why give you fuck? I can't even remember. The guy was the guy that you save out of the pile of rubble.
That has like
McCain,
2 seconds of screen time. Yeah.
And he just gets shot. It's like, cool. And he's got a page. He's got a fucking page. Unless he's not dead. But he's got like, why the fuck? Why do I care?
That dude caught a bullet with his face or the back of his head.
I just ain't it.
Or unless you get to experience a little bit more of that dude in the actual game before that mission happens.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
And see, they might add missions to the beginning part of the game just because like they don't want to reveal everything for the first handful of missions. This is kind of just a gloss over, a sprinkle.
Right.
It's a good sprinkling. Sprinkle. You can transfer shit over though, correct? Whenever the game comes out, is it the whole character or is it just inventory? Oh, that's fair. See, it's like
I know it's the character. So.
See, I'd like to start the story. I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but I'd like to start the story completely over just with the shit I have. Which doesn't seem fair because we got some legendaries, but it's just like getting DLC in a new game. It's like, oh, this is fucking awesome, and then you just pick up something 5 minutes later, it's already better. So it's like, even when we start with legendaries that seem really awesome, that took us
we will pick up
4 hours to grind. It's gonna you're gonna surpass that in 14 seconds.
Right, and my thought is like,
literally,
I would hope that, I don't know, like, it seems like the demo shouldn't be, like, I feel like we should almost reset. We should almost have to start over, but there should be more. Like, I almost feel like the intro to the game wasn't enough to, like, get me invested. Like, I don't really care about what's going on.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I was completely surprised with this game. Like, remember, we brought it up last time. I got so excited about how brutal it was, and I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Like, I assumed it was going to be like Mass Effect Andromeda, where you drop in and then you start just kind of going from place to place, taking over this planet, and then it's like, oh wait, no, 31 years later, shit's fucked, and you're like, oh, okay,
yeah,
and then you see people getting burned alive and shit. That was awesome.
We did talk about that. The brutality of the game is insane, and to that note, I can't wait to explore or like go to the other side of the No Man's Land and fight, or just like that whole wall that you like drove through during the mission, where it's basically Borderlands like world.
Yeah.
Just go fuck that whole place up.
I agree. The brutality of it is, I mean, it surprised me. I mean, I saw trailers for it, the whole trickster sword slash where everyone just kind of vaporized and it goes down to the skeletal system. It's like, that to me is so, and it hits everybody in radius, and it's like all of them do it. If you get a nice headshot on somebody, their head explodes. If you run up on somebody with a shotgun and shoot them in the waist, they basically get split in half and explode. It's so brutal, and it looks so good. They really did a wonderful job on that, in my opinion.
Those effects too are awesome. Like you're saying, the trickster. When I used it for the first time, I was like, holy fuck, that was really cool. Like, they literally just disintegrate in front of your eyes, and that's so fucking awesome. And I think when I was playing it for the first time, I had a shotgun, and I'm not very good, so I shoot someone in the kneecap, and it blows the guy's damn leg off. Like, I was fucking...
It's actually, like matters where you shoot the person. Yeah. A lot of that brutality and stuff, it's super reminiscent of Gears of War, and that's why when you said Gears of War the first time, it's like just like the chainsaw when you would like just put it through someone's body, like Like, you're gonna see it right here. This guy, and I talked about this the first time too. He makes a decision here that I would have made. I would do this 100 times out of 100 times, but I wish that somebody else, that you get the option that somebody else might not have done.
Right.
That. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. The fact that sorry, continue. I'm bad about cutting people.
No, you're fine. That's what I just mean. I just wish that people had a little bit more of a decision to make. Which I know there are some dialogue options within, like, I'm gonna die because I don't want to really fight this. Within, like, the quests and stuff, they get the option to choose, which I didn't really do any of that, and it didn't seem like it mattered.
No,
But,
like I said, I'm
like
playing
passive choices.
I'm playing Dragon Age again because I've actually never beaten Inquisition, but just like the sheer amount of, it feels like, I actually don't know if what I'm doing makes any difference, but it feels like it, and that's what makes you literally reread everything. Like, if it's just like a Rhino, like Rhino playing WoW. He doesn't read shit. He just plays. He's there to play. Yeah, exactly. Because the missions don't mean fucking dick. So it's like when you include these wield choices, it actually makes you like, what would I do, or what am I gonna have this character do? Like, I always do good my first run through because it makes me feel good, and then the second time I'm a huge fucking bitch, like just a fucking piece of shit, and I want to see what that looks like too.
I can never play a game and be a bad guy. Like, I'm always a bad guy.
It's so rough. It makes
because
me feel
they're
so bad.
It does. You feel bad for the NPCs that you affect in a game when you play negatively or as a bad or
as renegade.
Yeah, just negative.
Right.
I remember I played Fallout 3, and I decided that I would play a bad character, and
you nuked that town.
No, but you know the town, you know the sheriff.
Yeah.
And I played a girl in a pink dress with a hockey mask on. And I just never talked, and I just killed everyone. So I just walked into that town, and he was like, "Hey, welcome to Megaton," and I just pulled out a shotgun and just drilled him in the face. Like, so I just played. Yeah, everyone died, but I got old quick. So.
Yeah, it's like in Mass Effect, I was like, oh, I know I've done this, but I feel so bad. It's like, it's not your fault that you're fucked. I mean, you made some bad decisions, but you're gonna die.
I gotta kill you.
And your family's gonna die too because you can't provide. I'm so sorry, though. I am very sorry, but I have to see how this ends.
You weren't sorry.
If it makes you feel any better that I feel bad that you're going to die, kind of.
Only slightly.
That just means we're good people. That's all that means.
I hope so.
Go for it.
So one thing is, like, do you have anything you're looking forward to or expecting from the game that you didn't see in the demo?
I know Kyle's about to say the creatures.
The monsters.
Yes!
The creatures, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What do you mean?
That's what I'm looking for. So it's like, since eventually, right now we are fighting people and altered. So humans altered. But they're later, after the demo, at some point in the game, we run into creatures, or native creatures that got turned, or if they were already like this, or if this is just how they are. I have no idea. But we end up fighting those things, and I cannot wait to see how brutal and how difficult it is. Like, because they're not gonna have. I mean, they might have guns. I don't know. They might have,
missile face.
Missiles, or they're just gonna bum rush you and
stomp on you.
Just try to.
They coming for the
bum?
bum?
To stomp you. They're coming for the bum.
Oh,
yes.
sweetie, swooty.
Sweetie, swooty, I'm a coming for the booty. But
I do think that they have been altered somehow. I don't know, but
it'd be like some native creatures that have been altered by the anomaly or by the shit on the planet.
Because if you go look at the prologue, those big, I think they call them hyena cows or whatever the fuck they call them. It's like you see them and they don't ever fuck with you in that big pasture, and then you find one that you have to fight, and it's something's pissed it off, or something's making it different, more agitated. And I think that's the anomaly, which I would like to get. I actually went into the lore, and there's like, I doesn't have to do it right now, but there's like 3 phases of the anomaly that I would like to go over because it's kind of cool. It's like scientific, not really, but it's really cool. But we'll get to that whenever. Yeah. I just want to say something about that, and I think you guys might find it interesting. Right now?
Bring it up. Sure. What are we looking at?
The phases of the anomaly. So what we saw it as that big storm is the final phase called the active phase. But before that, you've got the inert phase, which is basically nothing. It's just like a building up of energy. Um, it causes like auroras, like the aurora borealis kind of thing, like where there's like lights in the sky, and it's just like electricity in the air. You can feel tension, but nothing's going on.
Okay.
And that makes sensitive electronics, like actual, maybe like if cell phones and computers, shit like that, they start to malfunction. Just small stuff. They're not breaking, but they're malfunctioning. But that's just a buildup of energy. So that's called the inert phase, and then it goes into this middle phase called the awakening phase, and that's where you get some long-term negative effects, such as genetic mutations. So creatures, fauna, landscapes, stuff like that start to mutate over time because of this awakening phase. Nothing's happening still, but there's just more and more energy gathering in the atmosphere or the area. So stuff like it said in the lore, says green valleys wither, die, lakes become toxic, stuff like that. So I'm assuming maybe these creatures, like the storm carrier, was that big, crazy, long-legged fuck. Maybe that's what that happened to it, or maybe it's just a native creature that looks like that. And then it also says electronic pulses render electronics useless. So pretty much anything that's electronic. So at first they were just kind of malfunctioning, not always working. Now pretty much any electronic that's not hand driven, like engines still work, like with cars and stuff, with combustion power, but anything that could die from an EMP, like a battery would be fucked. If it's got like a crank or some bullshit, it's fine. Physical power.
That's why guns are key.
Yes. But like this is when this awakening phase is pretty much when all electronics just are fucked. And then like the last phase is the active phase, which is what we've seen like with those big storms. Like my notes say, becomes a storm, which is what causes the altered, or I don't know if it causes the captains. So we know the captains are kind of altered, but not. They're easier to kill, but they still have some kind of power. Maybe the awakening phase, the one before this, like that long-term mutation, maybe that's what makes these captains, or maybe it's the storms, but they're just not as badass. And then this active phase can last hours, days, however fucking long. And then once that storm is done, it goes right back into inert phase, where it just starts building up again, which could also take months to happen. Or in like our case in this game, they're coming frequently. So the inert phase is just building storm, building. So it's just a constant cycle, which I thought was really cool. I enjoyed reading that. That was probably the only thing.
Does that mean it's something that, like, just like a tornado, would happen and then end, and then it would go back, and then it could happen again?
Or yeah, I think the way I read it was it can happen at any time, but I feel like once it's done, that storm, it takes a build up again. But the build up could be maybe not 2 minutes later, but 2 days later. Like it seems like the build up could be fast, but they made it 31 years. But if there was a storm every 2 minutes, every 2 days, they'd be fucked. So I think it takes like a little bit of time, but they did say that it's getting worse and worse. And
okay, so that makes sense. So the inert phases would be when we landed on the planet. You could see, like, even just as I was playing that little part of the demo, there was like some wind gusts. You could see like where it was foggy and stuff. And then awakening was when we were in that one area and the pools of the toxic sludge were like rising up.
Yeah.
So things are changing. It's getting worse. And then in the final phase, the active phase, we were caught in the storm at the end.
Yeah, and then one of them, I can't remember if it's the awakening, but it's like it just disturbs the laws of physics. Physics make no sense. So that's probably like right before the active phase. Is that what it's called? Yeah, the active phase, where like the pools floating up and rocks and shit floating around. Like
the
laws
girl.
of physics no longer matter. Yeah,
that girl literally floating out of existence.
Well, that was active phase. That was during the storm because she got struck by like it looked like a solar flare, but that's what the storm looks like. But yeah.
That's
I don't know. I don't know why I thought that was so interesting, but I was digging on that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense
no.
now looking back on it and kind of replaying what I played through. Because like I said, it was all so fast and it was all so, I just wanted to play and I jumped right in and I was just going. I
It was
didn't
new.
really catch any of that.
It's so
Yeah.
hard to pick up new stuff. Like even when you start a new book, it's like you got to get used to how the game or the book or the comic or how they lay it out. It's like at first you're just taking all this information in, and it's so hard to be able to put that into any kind of thought or what's going on because you're just collecting data at this point, and up until you can kind of assort the data and like, okay, now this stuff is starting to make sense.
Yeah.
Because like that's why you have to play through a game a lot. Just be like, I know what the fuck's going on now.
Right.
But it's just like every new game, every new book, it's like it's a whole different world. You got to learn all this shit. It's a process.
Sure, and I guess that makes sense too because seeing as like if I was going into it knowing I was about to play the 40-hour game, I would have taken my time. I would have looked at more, read more. But since I knew it was a demo and I knew it probably wasn't going to last that long, that's why I was kind of just like thunder gunning,
What's everyone's favorite class, right off the top of your head?
Trickster.
Yeah, I've only played one, so I'm playing the Technomancer. But I do really
It
like
seemed
it.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Techno's the only one I haven't tried.
Yeah, me too. It looked like you had bombs and shit, but what'd you say last time? Like they don't make any rhyme or reason. Like they're all different kind of.
Yeah, they don't correlate. So one's like a ice turret, the next one is like a mortar strike, and the third one is like poisonous bullets. So it's like if it was all poison or it was all ice, that would make sense, but not the case.
Maybe they'll synchronize later in the.
I think depending on which tree I take.
Yeah.
So
It
Things
seems
will
like
start
you
to
don't get.
synchronize the further you get into it.
It seems like you don't get very many skills though. Like you only get like 10, or maybe not even that. It looked like in your skills setup thing.
here. So yeah, 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, that's not a lot. And then in your trees, they give you different perks
Different
to
paths
those.
to
Like
follow.
it's like these skills are going to be better. It'll do more damage for these sorts of skills.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
So I would
That's how it
assume
was.
the pestilence tree would do better with blighted rounds.
Well, go into the pestilence tree, or go into the tree and then go to the pestilence and see the bigger circles, and then highlight those, and it said like and it'll be like, oh yeah, see, it highlights what moves.
Okay.
What
I
are
see,
gonna be this is gonna be attributing to those moves.
Which ones was synergized with it?
Oh,
Yeah.
makes sense.
I was digging the Devastator. I really like the Devastator, but man, that fucking Trickster the beginning few moves are fucking OP in my opinion.
Yeah.
Slowing people down and then just oh my god, it's so awesome.
Well, you have like
And playing, if you want to play super aggressive, you can use that teleport behind any opponent, like big groups of them, and then just do that blade slash and take out damn near all of them.
you also had like
It
a
is,
sphere, because when we were fighting the captain,
that's the slow sphere.
you would just run in
Yeah.
and throw it down, and I'd be like, I can't get over there. Like I'm fucked. But so when
Yeah,
I
that
was trying to
sphere-
solo, it was just fucking me up every time because I couldn't get in there until I finally got enough.
I
weapons.
I just put my head down and sprint as fast as I can for that farm or for that captain farm that I was doing.
How'd that go? You got some weapons out of it.
I mean, yeah, I did a farm twice for 2 hours each time. I managed one legend of those runs. And I mean, it was not bad. Once you figure it out, you get, I mean, fuck, I probably dropped 50 blues from that and 25 greens. Like, it was definitely worth it, but I can see how a lot of people would be highly turned off to doing stuff like that because it's boring. It's so monotonous. Your RNG is garbage. It doesn't you get to the point where it's like, all right, I'm only going to do this 5 more times. All right, I'm only going to do this 3 more times. And you get down to it. And I noticed, Stevie, that's how you was doing the grinding is before you would like switch to a different game, you would count down how many times you're going to do it. And I just kind of turned my brain off and just went for 2 hours.
That's easy for Kyle to do, but
yes, it is.
not much to turn off.
There's only a handful of brain cells, so I just talked to him personally.
killed them all.
Like, all right, you can go to sleep now. It's all right.
They're just like, thank God, I'm so tired.
Bowl of cereal, please.
You got some good. You got some legendaries out of it though. You got like 2, I believe, right?
Yeah, I got the Migraine and Grim Harvest, which is the Migraine's a submachine gun. It looks like a rack of ribs. It's super cool. It glows blue like on the underbarrel. And then the Grim Harvest looks like a fucking scaled heavy machine gun with like a grip up top and then a grip underneath to where it's like you hold it with 2 hands and you like fucking carry it like that
I got a
automatic
fucking
shotgun
frozen.
from Expendables.
I got a fucking frozen snotsicle. That's what the fuck well, I can't even remember what it was called. The sniper rifle. That's all. It looks just like a big fucking piece of spit that was frozen.
Oh my god.
And the worst part is they tried to decorate the reticle, so whenever you're aiming through it, there's fucking frost on like the edges. Like, why would you do that? It makes sense.
You're limiting my field of view.
Yeah, it's like the edge of the reticle is like it's just frost. I'm like, you cocksuckers. I can't see shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got yours from just a quest reward, right?
Yeah, I randomly got it. Kyle and I were playing. I think we were all playing together. I just opened a chest. I'm like, oh look, that looks orange. Oh wait, it is orange.
I wasn't playing with you. I was still farming the boss, of which I have got nothing still.
Mine was not deserved.
I'm like running this boss trying to get it, and Kalen's like, "Oh, I just got one too." I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck?" But Kyle, did you get both yours from the captain, or did you get one of them from Goss? Yeah. Oh, nice.
No, so it's like they updated the farming, so you can't farm captains, but you could farm the boss chest. I got those 2 from farming captains before they put that update out.
Gotcha.
And I think Kalen and I probably played that Gauze mission for an hour and a half, something like that.
Last week when we did this, we played it for about an hour, and we think we did it about 6 or 7 times because there was some troubles
here and there.
Yeah,
don't talk about those.
Well, why? That's what we're doing this for.
They don't need to know about it.
No,
give us free shit.
And we opened that chest like you said 6 or 7 times, and I didn't have shit drop for me out of it. He might have had some blues come or drop, but I didn't.
I actually saved the game, and right when you beat him, and every time I pop up, there's a chest there. So I just keep fucking. I did it 3 times before we got on today. I just like, oh, there's a chest there, and I just like shut the game off, go back, and then like, there's a chest there.
Oh, wow. What a cheese.
I didn't get anything, but
I mean, that's a way to do it, though. If it's gonna fucking give you the
that's
chest
a shitty way to do it, though. Like I don't like that. That's an option. Like it doesn't feel like you earn your shit. It's like even in WoW, you can farm bosses, but you got to go through like a whole instance, a whole raid to get to a boss, and then it's a small chance to even. You know what I mean? Like I was telling you earlier, I just don't like that. It's a cheese, and it just doesn't feel earned.
It's not a cheese. That is a cheese. Saving the game right before Gauze dies, and then grabbing the chest, closing it. That is a cheese. I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, I didn't either. Like the last time we played, every time I pop in, that chest is right there.
I mean, fuck, I'd run with it honestly at that point.
you got time. And the thing is, like, I agree with Kyle. It's not really a cheese to farm the captains and stuff, but I'm glad they already fixed that, because I don't want that to be what I'm like leaning towards doing, because that will turn me off really quick, and I will not want to play the game. If the only the plus side is I've got max crafting materials. I've got 1,000 leather. I got 1,010 or whatever. I've got so there are crafting materials. So maybe there's some high end items that you can craft. That would be really cool.
I'm super excited for the mod system.
Yeah,
the crafting and mod system, from what I hear from the people that have seen it, is absolutely insane. Just the capabilities and the combining of mods and crafting like new stuff is supposedly phenomenal. So that is going to be amazing, and the fact that there are hundreds upon, I mean, if not thousands of those mods that drop on weapons and gear, and the mix and matching capabilities for weapons and your armor. Especially when you get into legendary stuff where your guns can hold 2 or maybe even up to 3 different mods. The potential for that is absolutely astounding. Just because that it's crazy ass builds can be made at that point, because they're not putting any restrictions or limitations on any of the guns, like, because there's no need to, because it's a PvE game exclusively.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing to balance in a PvP standpoint, nothing for people to bitch about. So
It's just Borderlands, go crazy, make the craziest gun you can.
exactly.
So yeah, I can't even see the mods. You can't see the mods that you have currently right now, can you?
No, the crafting system is disabled for the demo.
But there are some fucking awesome mods. Like with my Trickster, I was using a shotgun that for every kill you get with the shotgun, when you reload, you heal life. And I was like, that's fucking. So then you teleport and you mow down as many small dudes as you can. Like that shit is really cool. And then if you can get other mods on a gun, you can just stack that with some other shit. And like if you can do more than one mod on a gun or whatever, or armor, there's a lot of potential for a lot of different play styles, which is really cool.
I do like that.
Gives everyone their own like custom, like complete customization of their loadout and play style. Like Kalen said.
It's cool though. Because it does show, like, when you dismantle, it does show me the mod that I will be receiving from this dismantled. And I've probably done.
All the mods that we get during this beta.
This motherfucker's not even on camera right now.
Wait, well, we get to keep them.
We get to keep them all. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Sorry, I was looking for my hat.
Oh, yeah, because you have a wireless headset. I'm like, what the fuck? But the thing is, so I probably have 1,000. I just can't see them.
Right. Exactly. Same. It's like
I
have
don't even
a
have
bunch
blue
of
gloves yet. What the fuck?
I'm maxed out on like any of the gear I can get. I'm pretty sure. Like everything.
You can get purple gear.
What?
Oh,
really?
you mean yeah, the vendors will occasionally sell a piece of purple gear.
Oh, nice.
Which is rare. So, I've only seen a handful of guns of that, but I have yet to get anything from the vendors that were anything.
Just
useful.
guns or armor too?
I think both. Yeah.
Cool.
But it's like one piece at a time, so it's really hard to get a whole set.
I mean, I think overall, I'm excited for the game. Like I said, I did kind of find myself wavering on like, do I want to play this? Like, is this? I'm glad it's not going to be a live service game, because I think it would be something that I wouldn't be able to complete, or I wouldn't stay with. I think since it's a one-off, just a campaign game, I'm gonna beat the shit out of this game, and then I'll probably never play it again.
See, that's the thing, though. Once you beat the game, there's in-game content to chase. There's in-game, weapons and like higher level, harder shit.
Expeditions.
The expeditions are the world tier system plus the expeditions. Like, there's going to be 50+ levels of the world tier, and they're all going to be on completely unique maps. Like, you're not going to have any replays or reskins of any of the areas that you played in during the story. So it's going to be completely a new thing. And once you beat the game, there's going to be a new like a local hub to go to, like how Rift Town works, or like how the tower works in Destiny. So you'll have a second one of those with new NPCs, new quests to do, new things to chase, and I'm the in-game chaser. I look for a game, like I think Rhino's explained it or said it probably the best way, is like, I only play games that I know have like a fake ending. It's like, all right, this is the end, but like how Destiny is, it's like I'm damn near max level for the season, but I still play every single day because there's in-game shit to chase for. Well, there's better and bigger loot out there with better rolls and better stats and shit.
And I think Destiny does it really, really well, because like I said, it's free. Like, that's insane. Second of all, I can go to that game and play what I want to play. You can go to that game and play what you want to play. Gambit. Kalen likes the strikes. I love Crucible. Yeah, like,
and then you have the competitive modes inside. Well, I guess they did drop the Grandmasters, the competitive, what I would call competitive for PvE. They have the raids. They have Gambit for the people who don't like either one separately. And then PvP, whereas like I'm trying to get better at PvP. I dropped a God Roll Palindrome, and I'm trying to perfect my PvP style and my PvP loadout.
So,
yes,
even though this might not be a live service game, the world tier system, I've only seen a few games like that. Diablo is very much like that.
Yeah, with rifts.
And look
Yeah,
how replayable and how many people are still in the Diablo. Like,
and Diablo does a season thing too, but they do their seasons different. Where each season they pretty much you basically play again. You
Start
start
a new.
over, and then you work towards a common goal of getting this armor and getting the meta for that armor. So then, like Rhino and I were doing it. You basically go online, you look up what skills are best for the armor that you unlock, and then you try to get as high as you can. And it's like a world tier system with how much damage and all that bullshit. But so like they have the potential to they could release seasons where it's like, all right, here's a legendary gear set that you have to work your ass off to get, but once you get it, that's not the end. Then you fucking fuck shit up, and then whenever you get all these skills that kind of coalesce and do well with that armor, and then once the season's over, that character that was your seasonal character goes back to your main inventory of characters, and then you can just use that character. So you basically get badass armor that is guaranteed to you if you stick it through, and then you play through the season. You get as high as you can and how much damage you can, as big a world tier as you can, and then once the season's over, it
Was
goes
it a
back to your
was it a leaderboard
character.
based thing?
Yeah, that's the pride thing. Rhino and I were doing it just because it was really cool. Because like there's so many different armor sets that you can get, and it's really hard to collect them on a normal game because it's not only dropping your class but sometimes other classes, but you have to find each piece of armor. But this one, it's like you have to complete challenges to get this armor, but you're pretty much guaranteed it. It's not that hard to get the armor.
Yeah.
And then once you've got it, and once that season's over, then you can just play as that character whenever you want. So it's like they could potentially do that as seasonal stuff. Instead of releasing story content, they make it seem like Diablo, which is surprisingly addicting and really fucking fun.
And at that
Rhino
point,
and I
it would
did it for
be
2
like
seasons.
a partial live service. I feel
Yeah.
like it wouldn't be like.
But they don't
how
have to update anything. They just every 2 or 3 months they just like,
Reset
all right,
it.
this is the new season
Or, yeah,
stuff. And each class gets this armor and fucking go for it.
Yeah. I think too. Yeah, I think my idea is that it will evolve into something more. Because right now we've got this game, just like
If it doesn't flop.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll do well enough. For instance, what do we have? What's the game? The girl with the bow and arrow. She shoots the mechanic dinosaurs. What kind of
Horizon.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Not a live service game, just a one-off game, but it got an expansion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm seeing from this game is we won't have like, yo, 100-player multiplayer. You guys are all gonna get together. Like it's like you can play with 2 of your buddies. And I think they will eventually go, here's a new land to explore. But just a one thing.
Yeah.
Just one drop.
Yeah.
Well, and see, that's the thing that
Borderlands.
the with the initial game, like they are promising a full game from start to finish. No expansions are planned. Nothing. No DLCs are in the works. Like how Destiny was. I think I brought this up the last time we all talked. Destiny was supposed to be Destiny 2 with the Red War, Warmind, and the Curse of Osiris, all those 2 expansions as part of the main story, as the initial like game that you buy, the $60 game. And then they decided to cut that and turn those two pieces of story into DLC or into expansions and make you pay for it. The fact that they don't have anything planned is good, but like how you said, I believe Horizon was the same way. It was just a story start to finish as a $60 game, go have fun. And then it did so well, then they put out a DLC for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would highly agree with you on the fact that they will probably end up doing something later down, depending on how well the game does on an initial launch, and then 2 several months into
player
the
base
game being out already. Yeah.
I'm excited.
I am too. I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun game just to play with friends. It's not. I'm also looking for something with a good story.
The key is
something with a good story, something new.
Any friends. Like that's the thing is, I've got Bailey and I've got his buddy, and we play games every night together, and that's fine. But it would be cool to play a game with you guys. I've never played a game with you guys ever because I don't own a console. Like, I mean, I do, but I don't use them. So it'll be really awesome to be comfortable in this and be able to just play with anybody. So that's literally one of the only reasons I'm going to play this game.
Yeah.
And I'm going
It'll
to
be
say
good.
the same thing. I have a bunch of friends on PlayStation and PC that are going to want to play, and I'm going to be running the story probably multiple times. I'll probably end up creating the entire 6 characters just to play the story over again with people from other consoles and different groups of people and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sure.
Before we sign off,
Okay.
I'd like to reiterate last time that when settlers first landed on Enoch, they didn't have food. So they farmed termites and fucking grasshoppers.
What were they eating? That's
Bug
delicious.
flour.
That's delicious.
And
they
booty
ground that
juice.
shit up into pestle and mortar and turned it into flour and then made it into bug bread.
And then
Tortillas.
They made tortillas. They made bread. They made all kinds of delicious pasta.
Grasshopper
don't-
burrito.
Yeah. Have you ever had it?
Yes.
All the ingredients are made from grasshoppers.
Gross. That's disgusting.
Yeah, I wrote some other notes. I was trying to get a timeline together, but like I was trying to figure out what year it was in the current game. I didn't check that hard. I just did some math. I think it's year 2190. I don't know if that matters to anyone. I thought I wanted to know for some reason. I wanted to know.
I just did some math and it came up 116. I don't know what the math was.
Well, here's what happened. So they say that the Outriders first land on Enoch on 2159. 31 years frozen is 2190.
Okay.
Sure.
Did you do math wrong?
I don't know. Did I?
I don't.
What is a
Fucking
calculator?
That's
Who
why I make
needs one?
pizza.
Yeah.
That's why I make fucking pizza.